Hi everyone, this is Ms. Faina. Today we're going to be working out test number 3 review. So looking at the first question, if g of x equals negative 3x squared minus 4x plus 12, find g of negative 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this negative 4 and replace it for every single x. Now when we do this, we have to be careful and we have to make sure that we put parentheses around that negative 4. Because it will change the answer, the outcome. Okay, so we do that. And then all we're going to do is go over to our calculator and type it in. So I go to my calculator, I go to the calculator part of the calculator, and now I'm going to put my notes on top of it so I can see what I'm typing in. So here we go. Negative 3 parentheses, negative 4, and then squared minus 4 times negative 4 plus 12. Okay, so again, notice how I put parentheses around the negative 4. So when I hit enter, it tells me my answer is negative 20. So equals negative 20, which is my final answer. Okay. Looking at number 2, what value of a makes negative 5 times 4a minus 2 equal negative 2 times 3 plus 6a true? So again, another calculator question. So I'm going to go back to my calculator. And before I lay the notes on top, we're going to go to menu, algebra, which is number 3, and then solve system of linear equations, which is number 2. So algebra 3, 2. We're going to change our number of equations from 2 to 1. And if you need to, you can change the variable. It was a, so you can go over and change it to a if you want to. Okay. So now when I type it in, I have to make sure that I use the variable a. So put my notes on top. Nope. There we go. So I'm going to zoom in. And we're going to type the entire equation in here. So negative 5 parentheses 4a. Let's do a lowercase a. It doesn't make a difference. Minus 2, close the parentheses, equals negative 2 times 3 plus 6a. And that's it. So close parentheses there and hit enter. And it tells me my answer is 2. Okay, so 2 makes that true. Okay, so that's it for that one. Looking at the next part, which expression is equivalent to 2x minus 5 times x minus 3? So what we're going to do is we're going to draw our box. So it's a 2 by 2, so I got to make sure that I draw a 2 by 2. There we go. So we have 2x minus 5 times x minus 3, and I'm going to multiply. 2x times x gives me 2x squared. Remember, I multiply the coefficient, so I'm multiplying 2 times 1, and I'm adding the exponents, which is 1 plus 1, which is how I got the 2 as the exponent. Then I take 2x times negative 3. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and the x drags along. Then I take negative 5 times 1x. Negative 5 times 1 is a negative 5, and I tag along the x. And then negative 5 times negative 3 is a positive 15. So I look, I have 2x squared. I combine my like terms, negative 6x minus 5x. That gives me a negative 11x. Remember, when we're adding like terms, we do not mess with the variables. It stays the same. So again, we added those. And then I have plus 15. So if I look over here, I'm looking for an answer choice that matches that, which looks like it's answer choice D. Okay. Looking at number 2, it says 3x minus 4 squared. Remember that means 3x minus 4 times 3x minus 4. So again, we're going to draw our box. It's another 2 by 2. So I'm going to put 3x minus 4 on the side and on the top. So again, 3x times 3x gives me 9x squared. 3x times negative 4 gives me negative 12x. The x tags along. Negative 4 times 3x, again, negative 12x. Negative 4 times negative 4 is a positive 16. So I start combining like terms. So I have a 9x squared. And then I look right here. These are like terms, so I'm going to add them. So negative 12 plus negative 12 gives me a negative 24x plus 16. So I look at my answer choices. I want answer choice B. Okay. Looking at number 3 for this one, I have a monomial times a trinomial, so I have a 1 by 3 box. I'm going to draw it out real quick. Perfect. Okay, so I put my monomial on the side, negative 2x, and then my trinomial on top, so I have 2x to the 4th. I have plus 3x cubed minus 1. And I'm going to multiply. Negative 2 times 2 is a negative 4. X to the 4th times x to the 1st is an x to the 5th. Okay, negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6. X to the 1st times x to the 3rd is x to the 4th. And negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2. And then I drag along that x. None of those are like terms, so I have a negative 4x to the 5th minus 6x to the 4th plus 2x. So I look at my answer choices, and it looks like it is answer choice letter A. Okay, so that's the multiplying part that we've been doing the last few days. Okay, now we're going to take a look at some key features. So we have this graph to the side, and we have to fill in the blanks. So it says the graph to the right represents what type of function? Blank function. Well, it's a quadratic function. Okay, the blank for the graph is y equals x squared. Well, do we remember that is the parent equation? That is the most basic equation for the function. Okay, its direction of opening, well, how's it opening? It makes that U shape or a smiley face, so that would be upwards. The blank or the minimum is at the point 3, negative 9, so that's this point. What was its other name besides a minimum? That would be a vertex. And it's a minimum because it opens up. Okay, it has a blank value of negative 9. Well, if we look, negative 9 is the lowest point on the graph, so that would be a minimum value. Okay, the blank is a line, x equals negative or positive 3, so that's this right here. And it's cutting our parabola in half, which makes it the axis of symmetry. Okay, it has two blank at 0 and 0, 0 and 6, 0. So 0, 0 is here, 6, 0 is here, and that happens to fall on the x-axis, which makes them either x-intercepts, zeros, or solutions. If I look at my little word bank, it looks like I just have zeros, so it's going to be zeros. It says it has a blank at 0, 0. Well, we already said it was a x-intercept, 0, or solution, but it also falls on the y-axis, which makes it a y-intercept. Ran out of space there. Okay, the blank of the graph is all real numbers. That would be our domain. And the blank is y is greater than or equal to -9. Well, that would be our range. So understanding our key features is what this part is checking for. So based on the graph, that is the information from there using our vocabulary words. Okay, looking at the next one. We're talking, it looks like maybe domain and range, so let's look. A set of weights includes a 4-pound barbell and 6 pairs of weighted plates. Each pair of plates weighs 20 pounds. If X pairs of plates are added to the barbell, what is the total weight of the barbell and plates in pounds can be represented by the f of x equals 20x plus 4. What is the range of the situation? Okay, range. Remember, range is our y values. So the possibilities that I have, we got to think about domain first. So for domain, for the situation, I could have 0 weights on there. I could have 1 weight on there, 2 weights, 3 weights, and it's just going to keep going, okay, until I get to the 6th pair. So what we have to do is we have to plug in these x values into our equation to get the actual range, the total weight of the barbells and the plates. So if I do 20 times 0 plus 4, okay, 20 times 0 is 0 plus 4 is 4. My first range value is going to be 4, which can eliminate answer choice A and answer choice C. Okay, because even if I don't have any weights on there, the barbell's still going to be 4 pounds. Then I have 20 times 1 plus 4. Well, 20 times 1 is 20, plus 4 would make it 24, which looks like it would be answer choice B. Okay, if we needed to check some more, we could do 20 times 2 plus 4. 20 times 2 is 40, plus 4 equals 44, which would be that next value. So B would be our correct answer. Okay. Looking at the next one, the student council sent members on 4 field trips during the school year. The number of buses needed to transport the members on each trip is a function of the number of members who went on each trip. This function consists of only the ordered pairs 52, 3, 72, 4, 86, 5, and 105, 6. What is the domain for this situation? Okay, so domain is our x values. Well, it gave us 4 different points or ordered pairs, and remember, in an ordered pair, the x value goes first, comma y, x, y, x, y, x, y, and we're wanting domain, which is our x values, so we want 52, 72, 86, and 105, which looks like it's answer choice H. Okay, looking at the next one, we have some exponent properties that we need to remember. So let's see. It says, which of the following is equivalent to? Remember, that just means equal to or same as. So we take care of our coefficients first, which is 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3. And when I divide 9 by 3, I get 3. Okay. Then I need to worry about my variables. So G can only go with a G. So remember, when we are dividing variables, we subtract their exponents. So that means I'm going to have G to the second minus a -7 power. Well, 2 minus a -7, 2 negatives make that a positive, which gives me G to the 9th power. Okay, and then I look at my H variables. I have H to the 1st power divided by H to the 3rd power. So I have 1 minus 3 as the exponent, which gives me H to the -2nd power. Now if I look, none of my answer choices have a negative exponent. So we have to remember that negative exponent property. I have to flip it to the bottom. Technically right now it's all over 1. So the 3 and the g to the 9th get to stay on top. But that h to the negative second power flips to the bottom and that exponent becomes positive. So if I look at my answer choices, it looks like my answer would be answer choice B. Okay. Looking at number 2, which of the following is equivalent to 3r squared times negative 8r to the negative 5th power? It looks like we're going to multiply. So remember, we multiply the coefficients. So I'm going to multiply 3 times negative 8. Okay, 3 times negative 8. And that gives me a negative 24. Based on that alone, I can eliminate answer choice A and answer choice B. And then for my variables, since I'm multiplying, I add. So I have r to the second plus negative 5 power, which gives me r to the negative 3rd power. And it looks like my answer is answer choice B, or D, sorry. Okay, looking at the last one, which of the following is equivalent? So I have a power to a power. So that means each item inside the parentheses is going to be raised to the second power. So I have negative 8 to the second power. And with my variables, I take this 2 on the outside and I distribute it and I multiply. Okay, so remember we're multiplying. So I have 6 times 2, which is a to the 12th. Remember that b has an exponent of 1. So I take 1 times 2 and I get b to the 2nd. And the c has an exponent of a 2. So 2 times 2 would be c to the 4th. Now the negative 8 needs to go in parentheses when you square it. So negative 8 times negative 8 is a positive 64, a to the 12th, b squared, c to the 4th. If I look at my answer choices, the only answer choice that has a positive 64 would be answer choice C, and everything matches up as far as exponent goes. Okay. Looking at the next one, we're going to talk about some key features again of quadratics. So let's see how this goes. So find the domain of this function. Remember, domain is our x values. Okay, so looking at it, it does have arrows, which means it's going to keep opening up forever and ever and ever in both directions, which makes our range all real numbers. Okay, find the range of the function, which is our y values. So looking at that, I need to know that it opens down and that my highest point on the graph right here is a positive 1. So my max value would be 1. So I know that I'm going to have, it looks like we're using f of x instead of y. So I know I'm going to have f of x in the number 1, but I need to know, are the values greater than or equal to 1 or less than or equal to 1? Okay, well, all of the values are getting smaller than 1, so it's going to be less than or equal to 1, which looks like it's answer choice B. Okay, we could have eliminated A right off the back because it says x, and all real numbers because it's not going up and down forever and ever, so that could have been eliminated as well. Okay, so now we have some true-false statements based on this graph. So let's look. It says the function graphed above is linear. No, it makes that U shape. That's actually a quadratic function, which makes this statement false. The function has 2 zeros at 1 and 3. Well, that's where it would cross the x-axis. Well, it does cross it at 1 and it does cross it at 3. So yes, that's a true statement. The function has an axis of symmetry at y equals 1. Well, what we know about the axis of symmetry is that it's x equals, axis, x equals, and it's the x value of the vertex, which would have been x equals 2. So that's a false statement. Next one, the function has a y-intercept at -4, 0. Well, it looks like it's crossing maybe closer to -3, but it's actually like in the middle of that. So it's not crossing at that. And anyways, it's written like a x-intercept. Remember, y-intercepts are 0, y. And that's going to end up being a decimal because it's not crossing at a perfect, pretty little spot. So therefore, that is a false statement as well. Okay, so let's see what else we have. This is the last little bit. This is a review on how to use the calculator for these types of questions that you may see. So it says, what is the rate of change of the linear function that goes through the point 2, -4, and 6, 8? So it wants us to find the rate of change, which means find the slope. So we're going to use our calculator to do so. So remember, this is our x value, this is our y value, this is our x value, this is our y value. It may be helpful if you make a little table. That way it kind of looks the same when you use the calculator. So we have 2, -4, and we have 6, 8. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to the calculator. Okay, I want to go home, discard my changes. No, you don't want to save. New, and we want to go to list in spreadsheets. So we go up to A, and we're going to change it to the letter X and press enter. Then we go to B and change it to Y and press enter. And then this is where I'm going to type in the numbers. So let's see. Let me put my paper back up here so I can see it. So we have positive 2 and 6 for my x values. We have -4 and 8 for my y values. Okay, so now I go to menu, statistics, which is the 4th one down. I go to number 1, stat calculations, and then number 3, linear regression mx plus b. So remember, for x list, I'm going to type in x. I got to scoot that over. Okay, so x list, I'm typing in x. Y list, I'm typing in y. I'm going to keep switching it back and forth. The paper's always in the way. Okay, one more time, flipping it back over, and then I'm going to hit OK. So it gives me all the information. And remember, I wanted the rate of change, which is our slope, which is the m variable, and it tells me m is 3. So our rate of change is 3. Okay. Now it says, what is the slope of the equation y equals x minus 5? So if you forgot slope-intercept form, you can always go to your calculator. So we're going to go back home and discard our changes. We're going to go new, but we're going to go to graph now. Okay, so when we go to graph, we're going to type that in. We're going to type in x minus 5. And we press enter. So if we look at it, it graphs it for us. Now, to help us find the slope, we're going to go to menu. We're going to go to analyze graph, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th one down. And you want to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 5, dy dx. That means our slope. So if I move my paper over, it's flashing, and if I look, it gives me a point that says 1. And no matter where I move it, it says that it's 1. That's telling me that my slope is 1. So my slope is 1. Okay. Now, if we remembered slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, we would see that there's nothing in front of the x. That's because we're lazy and we don't write it, but there's a 1 right there. It's a 1x, which tells me my slope is 1. Okay. So my slope is 1. Make it look more like a 1. Okay. Next, it says, what is the equation to the linear function that represents the given table below? So it gives me a table and the equations. Again, I'm going to use my calculator. So I'm going to go back home, discard my changes, and I want a new list in spreadsheet again. So next to A, we're going to type in X. Next to B, we're going to type in Y. And then we're going to type in our table. So let's see. I'm going to go X values first. So I have -1, 1, 2, and 3. And then for the Y values, I have -18, 0, 9, and +18. I go menu, number 4, which is statistics, number 1, which is stat calculations, and number 3, which is linear regression, mx plus b. Okay, for my X list, I type in X. My Y list, I type in Y. Again, my paper's always in the way. And then, oops, I drag it back over, hit OK. So again, I want the equation, so I need M and B, which it looks like my M is 9, and my B is -9. And that's all I need from that. So I'm just going to go straight back to my notes. Okay, so that looks like a G. It's not a G, it's a 9. There we go. So I'm looking for y equals 9x minus 9. Y equals 9x minus 9. So that looks like it's answer choice C. Okay, so I hope this helps prepare you for test number 3. If you have any questions today or before the test, make sure you ask your teachers. We're here to help you. Other than that, have a great day, Rangers.